The function of a wireless LAN controller is to centralize your configuration management, centralize your software image management, and centralize your troubleshooting with a single pane of glass. In this episode of the Basement series, we are meeting Simone Arena, and Simone is going to share with us the latest and greatest in innovations of the 9800 iOS XE wireless LAN controllers. Sit back and enjoy.
You wrote the history of Wi-Fi. I mean, you proved it.
Why should I care about troubleshooting at all?
Then you go ahead and you deploy it.
Just go, no, I hate Ford looked at us and said, we're not going to buy this.
Love that. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Basement series. Today, as you can see, we have a very vibrant session because we're gonna go to Italy where we're meeting the lovely Simone Arena. Ciao Simone!
Ciao Steven! Ciao everyone!
Hi everybody! So Simone is a truly person who saw Cisco's most interesting times from the front row. Being a long-time Cisco's engineer with more than 20 years of experience, he was in different roles, and for sure that deserves a separate interview. He was on the software engineering side, sales systems engineering side, and currently he's a principal technical marketing engineer with wireless business entity responsible for a mobility piece of our integrated approach for infrastructure called Digital Network DNA, Digital Network Architecture. So this is him. So Simone, we're so happy to have you with us.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm really great to be with you.
Yeah, so Simone, today our conversation would be more of a on the side of components of DNA. So previously we had an interview with Minse Kim and we touched a little bit upon software and hardware innovation piece, especially hardware innovation that we put onto the access points. But as of today, we'd like to focus our conversation on another pretty important piece of gear, which is wireless LAN controller. So now we're leading with our latest and greatest Catalyst 9800 series controllers. So basically, a lot of customers and partners still come to me and ask, what was the reason, what actually pushed Cisco towards the new generation of wireless LAN controllers, as well as software stack? Could you please elaborate on that?
Absolutely, Sophia. So actually, multiple reasons behind this decision. First of all, we needed a new platform to be built on the principles of intent-based networking. If you think about it, intent-based networking, IBN, is the overall EN strategy for the enterprise, right? Cisco strategy for the enterprise to bring value to our customer through a network that is easier to design, to configure, and to monitor, right? And basically, a network that is open and programmable, built on security, resiliency, and most importantly, an intelligent network. What do we mean by that? We mean that the network can be automated. So the customer can express their intent, their business intent, and that gets translated into the network. And now the network is intelligent enough to gather all the necessary insights and stream that with streaming telemetry, so in an effective way to assurance to show that we have actually met that business intent. Now, the Cisco 9800 Catalyst wireless controller is built on two of the pillars of intent-based networking, which is flexible, Cisco flexible hardware, Cisco flexible ASIC, programmable ASIC, and the new operating system, Cisco iOS XE. Now, the other very important reason, think about it, AirOS, and now I'm going to be feeling a bit old here because I've seen it really coming from the beginning. So iOS has served out extremely well through many iterations of the wireless standards, if you think about it. But we are taking those 15 years of wireless innovation, NRF excellence, and we are bringing them over. So they're not lost. We are bringing actually them over to the new platform, augmenting that with a modern, scalable software, which is iOS XE, combined with flexible and programmable ASIC. And why is that important? It's important because now customer can have investment protection, and they can have a platform that is ready to catch the next wave of wireless innovation and to meet the requirements of the new emerging standards. Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E is around the corner, and then guess what? Wi-Fi 7. So that's the main reason why we needed a new platform.
So you already brought up the innovations that is there, the key differentiators with our competitors. It's very clear. But I want to understand, how is this new platform going to help us in simplifying the deployment of Wi-Fi 6 and even the standards that are going to be beyond there?
All right, I know, Steven, you are tough to convince, right? Let me double click. And I'm happy to do it because I'm very passionate about this. So I talked about this iOS XE software, and the innovation that we brought in allows us to bring a lot of competitive advantages and a lot of advantages from the previous generation. Think about it. iOS XE is a multi-process software architecture. What does it mean? I mean, it translates into tangible advantages for the customer. For example, we are able to deliver a new level of resiliency. Not only we have stateful switchover like we had, but we added in-service software update, something that has never been done on a wireless network. So you can upgrade your wireless network without any downtime. Or think about patchability. Now we can restart the process, apply a patch without upgrading the entire network. The other thing is about security, and here I want to bring another important element, which is new. We have the same software across wired and wireless, routing, switching, and wireless. So the same software. So that means that we can leverage innovation that are developed first in another places of the network. For example, ETA, right? Encrypted traffic analytics. Or we can have a common architecture like SD access for ease of segmentation, bring that wireless from the get-go. And then I talked about the intelligence. So here is not only the fact that 9800 is completely programmable, expose API, something customer has been asking for a long time. But it's also the other piece, right? To close the life cycle. It's also about the telemetry that we push. And all the information that, as you can imagine, in wireless, they are super important, right? Because it's all about the clients, the roaming, and all of that. And that brings me also to the other innovation that we are bringing to the 9800 to improve on what the standards already gives us, right? Think about the device ecosystem. These devices, Apple, Samsung, Intel, they work better on a Cisco network. And now with the 9800, for example, we have just introduced Apple Fastlane Plus to go beyond the advantages that what OFDMA can provide.
Wow. So that is basically, the question is to the customer, dear customer, do you have any Samsung or Apple devices in your infrastructure? If the answer is yes, then you should have a Cisco infrastructure.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
But Wi-Fi 6 is, that is what all the developments are on right now, right? So we see our customers thinking about upgrading their infrastructure because they were on Wi-Fi 4 or Wi-Fi 5, so 802.11n or AC, and they're now thinking about Wi-Fi 6, but they're worried that it's going to be very difficult. So are you tackling that problem as well?
So I think we are making it easier to adopt this new technology. I'll explain why in a second, but with the 9800. But I want to state this because sometimes I get this question. AirOS will be fully support Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6 is an important technology, so AirOS does support this important standard for our existing customers. Now, of course, we would like them to move to the new Catalyst stack, right? So including the 9800, because this platform, as I was saying, was built for Wi-Fi 6, actually Wi-Fi 6E and 7 in mind. So we doubled the throughput, we have more scalability, right? And that is important. But coming back to the easy of adoption, for example, let's analyze the different phases, right? At day 0, so when you start up your network, we have ZTP, zero-time provisioning, and PMP supported on all Catalyst access point and on the Catalyst controller. On the configuration phase, so we have this new configuration model, which is very flexible. Remember, Steven, when we had to configure some parameters and they was only available across the entire network. So you either change it for all the access point or not. Here, we have the possibility to tweak these parameters for a very flexible deployment customized to what are your needs for a group of access point. And number 3, we already touched about, but we invested a lot in the troubleshooting piece, which, you know, for wireless is super critical, right?
Absolutely.
So how do we bring assurance and troubleshooting to the next level, making sure that we send all those relevant information, so intelligent capture and all of that, application experiences, so qualitative information from the controller, from the 9800. And last thing, when you have a problem, because unfortunately you do have a problem, never why the infrastructure related, right? But then you have to debug, right? And with something like radioactive tracing, we are automatically saving all the relevant information so that you don't have to do debug, reproduce the problem. It's already there. All that information is already there on the controller.
Wow.
That's really saves lives and so much time while doing troubleshooting, because it's the most time-consuming part while working with the wireless infrastructure indeed. So basically, I also have a question. Since I'm a, let's say, person from the field, and partners and customers come to me and say, okay, we understand the value of new wireless LAN controllers, no doubt we need it, but let's say we already have pretty big infrastructure. We are already on AirOS, we have hundreds and thousands of access points, and we, let's say, just cannot move super quickly from one deployment to another. We already have AirOS. Is there a way Cisco can help those guys in order to smoothly migrate to a new controller stack, at least 9800, as well as new software?
Sophia, we can definitely help, because we know that this type of migration will not happen in a night, right? In a day, will take time. And as I said, customers can adopt Wi-Fi 6 on their AirOS, and when they are ready to adopt the new Catalyst stack, we help them. How? For example, the two networks can coexist, so that from RF perspective, it looks like one network. And then you can roam seamlessly between the two networks without any problem. So that is, we call intercontroller mobility, IRCM, and that is supported across AirOS and 9800. The other thing is that at some point you want to migrate your configuration, right? To know, I mean, are these features supported? How are they going to be deployed in the 9800? We have tools either embedded in the management system or embedded directly in the web UI of the 9800, or online tools supported by TAC, to actually make it very easy to translate that configuration into an iOS XE one, show you what is not supported anymore because, for example, it doesn't make sense, we do things differently in iOS XE, or something that is deprecated, all of that. It's very easy to get this information, then to push it to the new 9800.
So I want to understand this better. So this intercontroller feature that makes it possible to have an older generation and a newer generation work together, and you can actually have a client go from one controller to another. Did I understand that well?
And you don't lose a bit. That's the important thing. You don't have to re-authenticate. Voice will work, no drops, and so we designed.
And does this also work? Does this also work on the embedded wireless controller? So the controller in the access point?
Controller, it's more for a very small deployment. So we actually.
That's why I'm asking.
No, you're right. But basically we don't expect customers to deploy two controllers, two embedded wireless controller at the same time. So usually it's a smaller deployment. And it's meant to be one controller only. So we don't form a mobility group, basically.
I got that. All right.
Perfect.
All right. But when our customers talk to competitors as well, and let's be honest, they do talk to competitors. Our competitors are saying, controllers, that is old world. You don't need a controller anymore. It's all controllerless, or it's all in the cloud. Is that true? Is that really the opinion?
I heard that, and Stephen, I want to provide you a kind of a slight different perspective. Think about a controller, right? Not as a box, but as a combination of critical functions. Now, some of these functions, they can reside in centrally somewhere, private, public cloud. And it actually makes it even better. Think about functions like RRM or AP image management. We can definitely take advantage of the scale and the flexibility and the agility that we have in the cloud. But when it comes to roaming at scale, roaming in that, hospital, roaming in that enterprise campus, roaming in that university, where you have hundreds, if not thousands of clients roaming at the same time and roaming across subnets, you need an anchor point in your network. You need a data tunnel termination so that the client moves and keeps the IP address and everything seamless. Also, as you move, not only your network information has to be consistent, but your policy has to be consistent. So having, again, a one point where you define and you enforce this policy, QoS, security, rate limiting, it makes it much more easier. So we are moving into an architecture that, controller, in terms of controller functions, will be needed on-prem. I truly believe that, but we use the cloud to have a better and easier management.
Got that. Wow.
No. Yeah, but pretty nice approach, and especially if we're talking about, like, let's say, scale and different scales that our customers might have. So yeah, pretty good insight. So Simone, at this point in time, we're actually coming to our favorite part of the questions. And the first one that I would like to ask you is about your most memorable day of work. Could you please share it with us?
All right. Well, as you know, I've been many years at Cisco. So there are many of these moments, and that's why I'm still here, right? Because I enjoyed so much. But if I have to pick one, I will go back to year 2015, Mobile World Congress, which, as you know, is probably the most important tech conference in Barcelona. We were setting up the network, responsible for the network. And on day two, which is usually the busiest day, we hit 32,000, more than 32,000 concurrent clients on a network. Now, I don't think this has been certified, but we all felt, because we looked everywhere, that was in our heart. We knew that was the world record for the most biggest concurrent clients on a network at an event, at a single event. And so we were proud. And I was the tech lead for a team, an awesome team that we put together across business unit, right? You had the wireless specialist, you have the management specialist, the switching, routing, all working, security, all working together to deliver this awesome experience to our customers. So that was definitely my highlight.
Absolutely, you can be very proud of that. And let's be honest, the Mobile World Congress, as you said, it's I would say the most important event in the world around mobility. So having such a large number of users, and they're not the easiest users.
Exactly.
Demanding users, and they want to test your network. They want to bring it down. They're challenging you. So that is very, very proud. Something to be proud of.
Steven, if you want to know if your network at Mobile World Congress works, you have to watch Twitter. But by the second that they hear something or they experience something that is not right, they will tweet it. So it's definitely a very tough crowd.
Yes, love that. So talking about a tough crowd, Simone, we come to my favorite question actually. And I know you have kids as well, so I know you have a tough crowd at home. So we would like to see your home setup and your home network.
Let me take you for a tour.
This is my office, right? In the office, I have a setup. As you can see here, I have my switches. I have a 8019 routers with an integrated AP. I have my teleworker AP to test the teleworker. I have my EWC, so embedded wireless controller here on a Catalyst 9115. And then maybe you can see the other AP up here, right?
Absolutely.
So I need multiple APs, of course, not for coverage. So shall we go for a tour?
Yes, please. Take us through your house if you want.
We'd love to. We'd love to.
All right, so follow me. So we are gonna go downstairs because actually the access points are so good that for here this is my kid's bedroom, and from there, from my office I can cover here, so it's no problem. Right, so now I'm gonna go and show you my other access point here. Now, the access point has actually been moved to a not very good position because of the Christmas decoration. Right?
Love it. It's a very expensive paper holder, you know that.
Right? So here you have the Christmas, everybody. And then the last piece of the network is, hopefully it doesn't rain. Now it stopped raining because sometimes it rains also in Italy. Right? So I had, as you can see, I have a small garden, and there is a little shed. And I'm not very proud of this, I have to tell you, Steven. But as you know, I mean, we are always changing, restructuring, and this is pretty ugly, guys. Are you sure you want to see this?
Yes. I want to see it.
All right, so it's a mess, but you can see there is an access point here, right?
Brilliant.
It's and it's covering when I work here, right? I have my tools, and when I work in the garden, so I can always be on Wi-Fi.
Love it. Brilliant.
So that's it.
I love it. Oh, Simone, that is great. Oh, thank you for showing this to us.
That was a great tour. Thank you.
Yes.
Love it, love it. So with that, we are at the end of the video. Simone, this was brilliant. It was amazing. We learned a lot, and you have a beautiful house and a great setup. So thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Even though it was short, but so informative and straight to the point. So it was really a pleasure to have such conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Talk to you soon, Simone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.